Hello and welcome to day 3 of the post reInvent recap on the AWS Morning Brief. For this week, it feels like it is instead the AWS Morning Long. This recap is sponsored by Chaos Search. So many companies can be defined by what they do, but I prefer to define Chaos Search in terms of what it does not do. It does not sue its customers. It does not threaten to sue its customers. It does not confuse lawsuits for sales pitches. It does not require you to manage your own Elasticsearch cluster. It does not require you to spend inordinate amounts of money and engineering resource in keeping Elasticsearch up and running. No, your data lives in S3 and it lets you query that data using the Elasticsearch compatible API. It is a fantastic service. I'm a huge fan of the product. Take a look at what they've done and thank them as well if you wind up talking to them for providing me a place to leave my stickers during reInvent. To learn more, visit Chaos Search. And now we dive into what was released. Introducing Amazon Fraud Detector now in preview. What is an Amazon Fraud Detector? I don't know, but I and everyone else I know is currently very concerned this is about to show us up as frauds. When you dig into the licensing terms, it comes out that you are contractually forbidden from bringing the Amazon Fraud Detector too close to any of their managed blockchain offerings or any AWS partner above a certain tier. We also now go live to the obnoxious number of SageMaker subservices to the point where no human being can understand. We start with introducing Amazon SageMaker Autopilot. It's machine learning for machine learning. That's right. You effectively set it to train, tell it to get going, and it automatically does it for you. It can now spend your money for you. Good work as the SageMaker Autopilot crashes your bill into the sun. They also introduce Amazon SageMaker Debugger to get complete insights into the training process of machine learning models. That's a lie. No one knows how machine learning models are built or what they do under the hood. That's the entire point of machine learning. It's bias laundering. So you can shrug and say, but the algorithm, when people accuse you of doing horrifying things. And who's going to argue? No one understands it. Now, SageMaker Debugger potentially gets at the root of that and removes your entire defensible position. Introducing Amazon SageMaker Experiments to organize, track, and compare your machine learning training experiments on Amazon SageMaker. They're all experiments. I'm sorry, there's no polite way to put this, but there is no established proven business model for machine learning other than selling you higher level services that enable machine learning. Wait a minute, I think we just said the quiet part out loud. Introducing Amazon SageMaker Model Monitor. What does SageMaker Model Monitor do? No one knows. No one cares. No one's paying attention because you stopped caring about SageMaker 3 items ago. Now they're just throwing all the spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Here, have another. Introducing Amazon SageMaker Operators for Kubernetes. That's right. Machine learning and Kubernetes. Two great tastes that are fun to play with instead of doing anything that resembles real work. Introducing the Amplified Data Store for SageMaker. Kidding. It has nothing to do with SageMaker. Finally. Introducing the Amplified Data Store, a persistent storage engine that synchronizes data between your apps and the cloud. That's right. For apps that go offline, you can now store persistent data locally that automatically synchronizes with the cloud when you're back online. Wait a minute. Why would my apps ever be offline, you might ask reasonably, and then Verizon shifts uncomfortably in its corner of the expo hall at reInvent. Relatedly, they are now introducing Amplify for iOS and Android. Instead of just providing you an SDK, they now provide actual built-out components for you, which is awesome because it's also called Amplify, which means for all of us that the smartphone wars have just gotten a little bit louder. Introducing AWS Compute Optimizer. As a top-level service, this makes zero sense. I think it belongs inside of Cost Explorer. That is my only real criticism of it so far. It takes a look at what you're using in terms of EC2 instances, either standalone or as an auto-scaling group. The value of this, however, is that you're now able to say, great, you should be using this instance size instead of the one you're currently using. And if you were, here's the performance over the past week or two. Here's how much money you would save over the past week or two. And it's worth paying attention to. Surprisingly, for a higher level machine learning offering from AWS, it is free. There's no cost to this. Just try it and see. Worst case, we all have a hearty laugh. Let me know what you think about it. I'd be curious to know. Another free machine learning service, introducing AWS Identity and Access Management Access Analyzer. The best AWS services are multi-account and multi-region. This is neither. It doesn't even pick one of them. And as I mistakenly reported in last week in AWS that this lacks CloudFormation support, it does support CloudFormation. I have committed an unforgivable sin and besmirched the CloudFormation team. I apologize profusely to them. Please forgive me. I will throw you a favor in the near future. That said, because it doesn't support anything other than enabling account by account and region by region inside those accounts, if you have a lot of accounts in your AWS organization, some intern is about to have a job that is so terrible, they will still be talking about it after they retire. Enough of the lighthearted tomfoolery. Let's talk for a minute about something a bit more serious. That's right. We are talking once again about Chaos Search. They're a lighthearted company. They engage with me and they sponsor podcasts like this, but what they do is serious and seriously awesome. I don't think that you can truly appreciate how obnoxious it is to run Elasticsearch in any of its forms until you've done it. What I like about this is they have completely severed the barrier between compute and storage. You can pay for one, but not the other, except when you need it. They have masterfully accepted that the cloud has taken a vote, and the economically effective and durable storage is object store, not block store that you then need to replicate across multiple AZs. They got rid of cross-AZ data transfer fees by using these things. It fundamentally is fantastic use of Elasticsearch. If you use Elasticsearch for anything, I beseech you, take a look at what they're doing. I would not lie to you. I would not endorse them this strongly if I did not believe in what they do. I'm a believer. Take a look. I suspect you will be too. Check them out at chaossearch.io. That's chaossearch.io. And thank you to them once again for sponsoring my ridiculous babbling. Introducing AWS Public Safety and Disaster Response Competency Partners. I've been talking with the disaster response team. No, not because I've made such a disaster of fixing bills that they had to be called in, although I wonder if they would ever extend themselves to that level of disaster. I can't even snark about this effectively because what they're doing is phenomenal. They are improving people's ability to respond to natural disasters. What they do is inspirational. I encourage you to look them up if you get the opportunity. That is the Public Safety and Disaster Response Competency Partners. And I'm not picking on first responders because, frankly, we hope to never need them, but when we do, we're sure glad they're there. They also introduced AWS Retail Competency Partners on the other side of that spectrum, and I will absolutely make fun of that. There are now specific partners available to aid both of the AWS retail customers who haven't managed to get the hell off of Amazon's platform yet and are now wondering why their business is eroding out from under them. Introducing Contact Lens for Amazon Connect in preview. It has taken years, but they have finally come up with a service that has a spectacular name. Well done. Amazon Connect Contact Lens. It's a pun. I can't believe it, but they finally gotten a pun into an AWS service name. I just want to bask in that for a second because it's phenomenal, and it shows that someone somewhere at AWS both has authority to name things and a sense of humor, and somehow they didn't get fired for it. Contact Lens for Amazon Connect. It's beautiful. I might cry. Just when you thought it was safe, it was not safe. That's right. Introducing Amazon SageMaker support for Deep Graph Library. You can build and train neural graph networks. Why in the world do you need a giraffe network? Because their necks are extremely long. And when it comes to machine learning with SageMaker, the poop is so deep that only a giraffe can safely keep its head above it all. Also introducing the new Amazon SageMaker Notebook Experience. That's right, the Notebook Experience, now in preview, is not a console, it's an experience. Tie all of this together with the SageMaker announcements, and it sounds like what they're trying to build without saying it is Databricks as a service. That's not going to feel good for a large tier important sponsor. There's a new benefit for APN consulting partners. That's right, APN Immersion Days. Amazon has announced a new program under which they will begin systematically drowning all of their partners and calling it immersion. There's also a new APN Global Startup Program, helping startup APN technology partners grow their cloud-based business. That's right. If you're a startup, it has never been easier for you to give AWS money while they study exactly what your business is doing for absolutely no reason whatsoever. It's probably fine. And that is what happened partially last week in AWS at reInvent. Thank you for listening. It is appreciated, and I will continue this again in the next segment.
This has been a Humble Pod production. Stay humble.